What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's Sunday, November the 12th. We've got a big 11 game schedule today. And as usual, we're going to break every single game down, do our analysis, look for an edge, pick some winners. That's what we do every day here, guys. Now, before we get started, I know I bust your balls before every video, guys, but really hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And with all that now out of the way, let's take a look at today's action. Let's go. In our first game of the night, we got the Charlotte Hornets in New York taking on the Knicks. Knicks currently 9.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 7. Charlotte, let's talk about them first. 3-5 so far on the season. The team was on a 2-game losing streak. They snapped that losing streak, beat the Wizards in their last game on the road. They got down big in that game, made a big run in the second half. Nice win for the Charlotte Hornets, who are still playing without Terry Rozier. Miles Bridges, just a couple more games until he gets back with the team after a year's absence. The Knicks, so far on the season, they are 4-4, 500. The team on a 2-game winning streak, playing very good basketball. 2 wins, guys. Beat the Clippers by 14 at home. Big win against the Clippers. Followed that up with another 21-point win against the San Antonio Spurs. Both games at home. The Knicks definitely on an uptrend. As we can see here, the line 9.5 points, 2.5 points higher than my estimate. The Knicks, guys, I think they got much more weapons currently than the Hornets. I like them in the spot, 9.5 points. It does look like a lot of points, guys, but I think they could run away with this game. 9.5 points, New York, my pick here. Up next, we got the Washington Wizards in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Nets currently 7.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 7. Washington 2-6 so far on the season. The Circus, how I like to call them, they were looking to go on a 2-game winning streak. They had a little home-and-home series with Charlotte. Won big the first game on the road. Back home, it looked like they were going to manage to get that second win. In the first half, were playing well, but in the fourth quarter of that game, got outscored by 16. Gave up 36 points, 36-20, got outscored. Ended up dropping that game by 7. Back to losing ways for Washington. The Brooklyn Nets 4-5 so far on the season. They were cashing like crazy, guys. I know you ATS guys, everybody that's been betting on them on the spread so far this season have been getting paid. But that streak came to an end in their last game against the Celtics. I think they were something like 10.5-point dogs. Dropped that game by 14. The Celtics, we know, a powerhouse at home. Brooklyn, no shame in that loss. The team was playing without Cam Thomas, the team's leading scorer, the little guard, who has had a fantastic start to the season. He injured himself. I think it's an ankle injury. He is not expected to play in tonight's game either. Cam Johnson came back in the team's previous game. He's expected to play again tonight. Nick Claxton also off the injury report. He should be in the lineup as well, banging down on the blocks with Daniel Gafford from Washington. Now in this ball game, guys, what am I going to do here? I'm going to look for that momentum to carry on from the previous game for Washington, how they got blown out by 16. I'm going to look for Brooklyn in the first half to come out strong. I got them here -4 in the first half. Now all game, it's tough to lay these many points with the Nets, guys. Even if on the other side we got the Washington Wizards, I'm going to take Brooklyn here -4 in the first half. Up next, we got the Memphis Grizzlies in LA taking on the Clippers. Clippers currently 8.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 6.5. Memphis 1-8 so far on the season. The worst record in the NBA. Of course, very disappointing for the Grizzlies. Not as bad as this record indicates, but they have not been playing well. In their last ball game, guys, they were at home against the Utah Jazz. Looked like a great opportunity to get their second win. Utah was on a 3-game losing streak, 3 straight blowout losses. Memphis did not capitalize on that. They dropped that game also by 6. But to be honest, guys, and be fair, the refereeing was terrible in that ball game. Coach Jenkins at the end of that game was asked what he thought about the officiating, and his quote was, "It was fucking atrocious." I'm sure a fine is going to be coming up for Coach Jenkins, but he pretty much stated the truth. That is what happened in that game. Nevertheless, 1-8 for Memphis, another loss, last place in the Western Conference. The Clippers not faring that much better themselves. They are currently on a 4-game losing streak. They were on the road. James Harden with the team now. They're looking to get things working over there. Things have not panned out that great just yet. They were on the road, their last game against the Mavs. They started out well. Looked like they might hit that game. It was going pretty good in the first quarter, but after that, guys, they just completely fell off a cliff. Ended up getting blown out by 18. Gave up 144 points. 4-game losing streak for the Clippers. Now, tonight, guys, this ball game, an 8.5-point line, it's obviously huge, and a lot of people might think, okay, since the Grizzlies did get screwed over by the refs, they might have a lot of favorable calls in tonight's ball game. I don't believe that. I think the Clippers here, the 8.5 points is extremely high. People obviously, I think, are going to be taking the plus 8.5 on Memphis, expecting them, thinking they are due to get a win. This line, guys, like I said plenty of times, books, not a charity organization. These many points telling us that I think the Clippers are the right side in this game. I'm going to take them with the minus 8.5. Up next, we've got the Indiana Pacers in Philadelphia taking on the Sixers. Sixers currently 6.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 7. Indiana 6-3 so far in the season, third place in the Eastern Conference. Impressive start for the Pacers on a 3-game winning streak. They were on a homestand, took care of business, guys. Played pretty well overall, 3 straight wins. Their last one against Milwaukee, 2-point win. They actually were down by 10 late in that ballgame, made a late surge, picked up a nice win in that game. On the injury front, nothing really to report here. The Pacers finally going on the road after being at home for a while. The Sixers 7-1 so far in the season, the hottest team in the NBA, 7-game winning streak for Philly. They lost their opener, have ran off 7 straight. They were in Detroit in their last game. Actually fell down by double digits in the first half. Looked like there might be a surprise there in the works, but in the second half they got serious. They took control of the ball game, ended up winning comfortably at the end by 8. News coming out of Philly, guys, some interesting news. Kelly Oubre Jr., the backup forward for the Sixers that came over from the Hornets, got hit by a car. Crazy news. He was in the hospital, but I just read now on ESPN's website that he did get released. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be playing in this ball game. The dude got hit by a car. It is something pretty serious. Now, in this ball game, guys, Sixers, of course, they have been dominant at home. The 6.5 points, I think we'll draw some money here on the Sixers. The Pacers, I know they're not as good as on the road as they are at home, but I kind of like him here. I'm going to take him with the plus 6.5. This is going to be my pick in this game. Up next, we got the Detroit Pistons in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Bulls currently 7.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 6.5. Detroit 2-8 so far on the season. Last place in the Eastern Conference after a very promising start in the first 3-4 games. The team has fallen off a cliff completely. They've dropped 7 straight. Even though, guys, in their last couple of games, they have shown some signs of life. A very tough loss in Milwaukee by 2 in their last game against the Philadelphia 76ers, the top team in the East. They were at home. They actually got up by double digits early in that game in the first half, but in the second half, guys, could not hold on. Philly came back, giving them their 7th straight loss by 8. On the injury front, they got a ton of injuries, guys. We know the Pistons have been struggling. A lot of players out of the lineup. The Bulls, they are currently 3-6 on the year. Very inconsistent ball club, guys. The Chicago Bulls, a team like we've talked about before, a very limited talent. They do play hard, but they're just not that good, plain and simple. In their last game, they were at home against the Suns. They actually came really close to win that ball game, dropped that by 1, had their opportunities both in regulation and in overtime, ended up dropping it. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. Chicago definitely also on the downtrend. Now these 7.5 points, guys, obviously look a little over exaggerated. To be honest, 7.5 points. I think a lot of people will be jumping on the Pistons here, but what we've seen with the Pistons, guys, in their last few games, they start off very well, but they just can't hold on at the end. So I'm going to follow the trend in this game. I'm going to take the Pistons here with the plus 4 in the first half. I don't know if they'll be able to hold on until the very end. Like I've said, the last few games, they've been giving up the leads that they've been building early on in the games. They just can't finish the deal. Detroit plus 4 first half is my pick in this game. Up next, we got the Denver Nuggets in Houston taking on the Rockets. Nuggets currently 3.5-point road favorites. I also had them favored by 3.5. Denver 8-1 so far on the season, best record in the NBA, and currently on a 4-game winning streak. The team, after suffering their only loss of the season on the road to the Timberwolves, came back home, had a 4-game homestand, took care of business in all 4 games. Some bad news though for the Nuggets, guys, like I talked about in the previous video when talking about them. Jamal Murray, the starting point guard, injured his hamstring. Reports are he's going to be out probably for the remainder of this month, which means the Nuggets are going to have to bring in some play. Reggie Jackson is going to be coming into the starting lineup. Some of the younger guys are going to have to hold things down off the bench. The Rockets, another team that is on an uptrend, 5-game winning streak for Houston. They started out the season 0-3. Things didn't look very good, but have picked it up big time. 5-game winning streak for Houston. Of course, all those games at home. They're on a big homestand tonight, taking on the defending champs. 3.5 points for Houston, a 3.5-point dog here at home. Guys, in this game, I am going to take Houston here with the plus 3.5. Denver, of course, like I've talked about before, not as strong on the road as they are at home. And also with Jamal Murray, some of the younger guys that are going to be coming in, playing off the bench, some rookies, they tend to perform always better at home than they do on the road. I think Houston does have the advantage in this ball game. Plus 3.5 looks like a pretty good number. I'm going to take the Rockets here with the plus points. Up next, we got the Dallas Mavs in New Orleans taking on the Pelicans. The Mavs currently 2.5-point road favorites. I had them favored by 1.5. Dallas 7-2 so far to start their season. Very impressive start for Luka and company. 7 wins in their first 9 games. The team obviously on an uptrend. In their last game, they were at home against the Clippers. A very tough game on paper. And in the first quarter, it was very competitive. The Clippers actually jumped all over the Mavs in the first quarter of that game. But the second quarter, completely different story. The Mavs outscored the Clippers 47-18 in the second quarter. What a huge quarter. 47 points in one quarter, guys. Absolutely massive. The game was pretty much over at the half. Mavs, second place in the West, guys, like I said, uptrending. The Pelicans started out their season very promising, 4 straight wins for New Orleans, but now currently on a 4-game losing streak. The team has problems, of course, with injuries. CJ McCollum, collapsed lung, we know about him. Zion missed a game. Brandon Ingram has missed a few games, and they also have quite a few rotation players that are in and out of the lineup. Injuries have really hurt the Pelicans. In their last ball game, they were in Houston. Almost got the W. They let it slip out of their hands. Fred VanVleet for Houston hit a 3 in towards the end of the game. Small details here and there. The Pelicans could not manage to get the win in that game. 4 straight losses for New Orleans. In this ball game, guys, I'm going to look to take the Mavs here with the minus 2.5. They are playing very well, very consistent. Look very serious this year. The Pelicans, 4 straight losses. Don't know. They have to show me something, guys, before I put some more money on them. And to be honest, in the last game, I was on them against Houston. I had them with the plus 2.5. They ended up losing by 3. Losing ticket. I can't back this team again. I'm going to take Dallas here, minus 2.5. Up next, we got the Miami Heat in San Antonio taking on the Spurs. The Heat currently 1.5-point road favorites. I had them as 1-point dogs. The Miami Heat 5-4 on the season. On a 4-game winning streak, the team started off the year very slow, have picked it up, won 4 straight ball games, playing very well, definitely on an uptrend. They were in action last night. They were in Atlanta, a very tough place for anybody to play against the Hawks team that were also uptrending. They went in there, got the job done, won the game by 8. Very impressive performance considering they were without Tyler Hero. Sprained his ankle. He's going to be out for a while. Jimmy Butler was a late scratch for personal reasons. He's also listed as questionable for tonight. We got to monitor his status in this game. The Spurs 3-6 on the year. Downtrending. They have lost 4 straight ball games. 4 games in a row where they have not been competitive. The team is not playing well. The young San Antonio Spurs, just 3-6. They're going to look to bounce back tonight against an older Miami Heat team. We know they are a veteran ball club. Spurs, young legs, young players in the rebuilding process. Tonight looks like they have an edge, in my opinion. 1.5 points. I'm going to take him here with the plus 1.5. Even though, guys, we do have to wait a little closer towards tip-off to see if Jimmy Butler plays or not. Hopefully he does. If he does, we'll get even more, maybe another point and a half, which should make this even better. This play, guys, is risky. I don't like betting against trends, but I think this looks like a good spot for San Antonio in this game. Plus 1.5, my pick here. Up next, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder in Phoenix taking on the Suns. The Suns currently 2.5-point home favorites. I also had them favored by 2.5. Oklahoma City, in their last ball game, was in Sacramento. Their first game after a long homestand. They came out very flat. Sacramento jumped all over them, got out to a big lead. Oklahoma City was playing catch up throughout the whole ball game. They did get close, but Sacramento kept fending them off, sent them to their 4th loss of the season. Overall, guys, like I said, the Thunder playing very consistent basketball. The Phoenix Suns off to a very slow start, 4-5 so far for the Phoenix Suns. They were in action in their last game at home against the LA Lakers. Actually had control of that ball game throughout 3 quarters, but the Lakers made a late move at the end, took control, sent the Phoenix Suns to their 5th loss of the year. Of course, the Suns, guys, like we've talked about, playing without Devin Booker. Bradley Beal was out for the majority of the games. He's only played in 2 so far. Kevin Durant, all the responsibilities, all the workload has fallen off his shoulders. Looks like he's kind of slowing down a bit. He's going to need some reinforcements. In this ballgame, guys, Devin Booker is still listed as questionable. I don't know if he's going to be playing yet. As of now, this line indicates that he probably will not. So in this game, guys, what am I going to do? I'm going to take the Thunder here. I like the Thunder here with the +2.5. I think they match up very well with Phoenix. Like I said, Kevin Durant, he's going to need a little bit of rest. Bradley Beal, not quite ready. The rest of the supporting cast, you guys know what I think about them. Let's take the Thunder here with the +2.5. Up next, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves in San Francisco taking on the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors currently 1-point home favorites. I had them favored by 2. Minnesota, the Minnesota Timberwolves, guys, are one of the hottest teams in the league. Currently 6-2 on the season on a 5-game winning streak. After a very slow start, they have picked it up. 5 straight wins for Minnesota. Definitely on an uptrend. Now, in this game, guys, on the injury report, we see a couple of extremely important players here on the list. Anthony Edwards listed as questionable with an illness. And Naz Reid, the backup big man, also listed as questionable with neck spasms. Obviously, we got to check their status. It's very important in this game. The Warriors, 1-point home favorites. Their first game back from a long road trip. They were in action just last night. This is going to be the second night of a back-to-back for the Warriors. They were taking on the Cavs. A revenge spot for the Golden State Warriors, but they did not manage to get the revenge. They've dropped both games, the season series, to the Cavs. They lost the game last night by 8. Draymond Green got ejected from that ball game. He had a little mix-up over there with Donovan Mitchell. He is expected to play tonight. Everyone should play. But, guys, we know the Golden State Warriors, second night of back-to-back. Steve Kerr has gotten us used to seeing him rest some players, most notably Klay Thompson. We're going to have to check out the injury report there with the Warriors. The Warriors, guys, just 1-3 so far at home this season. Actually playing better on the road. The exact opposite was taking place last year. A tremendous home team, very bad on the road. Things, see how things switch up so fast with the Golden State Warriors. This ball game, guys, a 1-point favorite for Golden State. I'm going to ride the Timberwolves here. I'm going to take him here with the +1. As of now, of course, we do got to check the status of those 2 players that I mentioned. But I like Minnesota here, guys. They got size. Second night of a back-to-back for Golden State. Tough spot for them. Let's take the Timberwolves here with the +1. And last but not least, we got the Portland Trailblazers in LA taking on the Lakers. Lakers currently 9.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 11. Portland, 3-5 so far in their season. Not too bad, guys. The record is very respectable. If you take into consideration all the injuries that they have, they are rebuilding. Lack of talent overall. Portland hanging on 3-5. Don't know for how long though. They are currently on a 2-game losing streak. Expect those losses to continue, guys. They just don't have enough talent on the team. The Lakers, back from a 4-game road trip. They were 0-3 to start that trip. Finished that trip off with a really nice win against the Phoenix Suns. Anthony Davis came back in that game after missing the previous one against the Rockets. A huge blowout loss at Houston. Lakers followed that up with a nice win in Phoenix. First game back tonight. Now, taking a look at the injury report, Gabe Vincent still out with a knee injury. Anthony Davis is probable after, like I said, missing out on the team's game at Houston. LeBron James is listed as question for this game with a calf injury. Let's see, guys. We're not used to seeing LeBron. If even minor injuries, he plays through them. He's a warrior, guys. In this ball game, I don't know. He's listed as questionable. I do expect him to play. And if he doesn't, guys, the Lakers still do have enough to get the job done. This 9.5 points, though, you see, is a 1.5 lower than what I had estimated. I think the Blazers, guys, could get a backdoor cover here. First game back from a road trip can always be tricky. Lakers might play down to the competition. I do expect them to win. It would be a shocker if they didn't. but I think the Blazers guys could sneak in there and get a backdoor cover. I'm going to take him here with the plus 9.5. And this is what I got for you guys today on this Sunday, November the 12th, big 11 game schedule. We broke each one of the games down, did our analysis, got our picks, and we are ready to roll. As usual, guys, about an hour before tip-off, I will be posting my best bet of the day. Today, we have a matinee game, Charlotte at New York. I don't know if I'm going to have any action on this game. Like I said, I am leaning on the Knicks. If it is a final play, I will post it down as a pinned comment or on my Twitter over here, Pick 'em NBA Bets. You guys can give me a follow there. If I don't post anything, guys, it'll be in one of the later games. Stay tuned and follow the channel if you're interested in the best bet. And with all that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up right here. Enjoy your Sunday. Good luck. Let's make some money, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Have a good one. Later.